let's really start off with this. I don't want to say it was frustrating through 4 innings, but you stranded 10 base runners through the first 4 innings of the game, and a lot of free passes. Couldn't necessarily come up with necessarily that big hit early, but, man, a lot of different guys come up with big hits late in this game to get you to the 10-run mark.
Yeah, it was a frustrating start, honestly, and it was one of those things where in the pregame we had talked and didn't want the sluggish start, and I brought it up because, like, we had just hit indoors, we were taking infield, and it was not looking the way that we needed it to look. Like, you could just feel it. And we were talking about it. We met in the outfield prior to the game, brought it up, met a couple times in the dugout to bring it up. We just can't let a team walk us. I think it was like almost 10 times within the first 3 innings, and it'd be a 2-1 game or whatever it was. I mean, that was a poor job on our part there, because honestly, like, the game, it could have swung in a really bad direction because they were outplaying us. They were hitting the ball harder than we were doing. Unfortunately, we were able to, or fortunately, we were able to overcome it and, start putting some better at-bats there together. But big thing is like just super proud of, anytime you pitch that many guys on a night, you never know how that's going to work. And everybody out there was just going right after hitters, throwing strikes, and it was nice to see that, and also nice to get a lot of different guys in the game as well.
Can you kind of build off of what you were just talking about, of the different guys that you got in? Like, for example, Blaine Harpin tonight, he ties a season high, goes an inning and 2/3. And when you think about what's coming, and that's kind of what you're always preparing your team for, it's not necessarily the here and now, it's what's coming down the line. And when you think of the Valley Tournament, you've seen so many times, Coach Rhodes, even your time here in your 6th year, when teams have success in that tournament, there is always that maybe a surprise arm or someone that maybe hasn't pitched a ton on the year, and they have a big outing. That's why, even though it may not seem huge tonight, guys like Blaine getting out there, even Andrew Yusipchuk late for the last inning, those are big deals because there's going to be times where you get into that tournament and you're going to be like, all right, we got to see who we can roll the dice with, and that's why these innings are big right now.
They are, and also just to be able to take a little bit of relief off of, some of the guys that we know for sure are going to throw on the weekend. We were trying to do everything possible not to throw Frizzy tonight. Awesome that we, strung that lead out where we didn't have to go into that. But also some of these guys needed work. Gavin needed to go out there and throw what Gavin did. Blaine needed to throw. Cole Kuntz needed to go out there and have a good clean inning. Gertie came in, got that big out with that left-hander, that pinch hit right there. That was nice. So again, all those guys, they needed to touch the mound. They needed some work. Also awesome to see Matt Samay, him pop in there for a start and do what he did. And so that was nice right there on all those guys getting some work.
The Samay family had a really good night here at the ballpark. Of course, Tim, it seemed like his RBI double in the 4th was when it really started the turn for you offensively. Did you feel that was a big turning point in the game?
It was. That was a big kind of blow there because we really, really needed it. And, anytime you get three doubles on a night, that's a good night. And then pair it with 4 for 4 with the brother combination there. I mean, that's a 7 for 8 night right there. That's pretty good. We'll take that every day of the week.
What else offensively after the sluggish start as you described? What did you like, especially when you got into the 8th inning? I mean, Tim, again, he starts off with a double. Milot just crushes that homer. Lofton comes back with a double. You really made the back end of their bullpen obviously really hurt.
Well, I think, and I kind of joked about this with Coach Mack in the 9th inning there, because obviously we were a little disappointed how we got off to the start, and I just kind of looked over at him in the 9th. I said, goodness gracious, we've almost scored every single inning. And, it did not – it felt like we didn't score for the first 6 innings because of the opportunities that we wasted. But, I mean, it's hard to complain when you look up and you see, a mark on almost every single inning. And obviously that's a big goal that you try to accomplish. But man, it's nice to be disappointed when you get 14 hits and 10 runs. But again, it was also nice too that we got a few guys a little rest on the day, and hopefully it benefits us coming this weekend.